Welcome to another episode of Me, My Wife, and Sports. I'm your host, Fitz, with my lovely co-host, Darcy.
Hello.
All right. Well, March Madness is over, and no more basketball from the college level.
Right.
But,
no more.
And my pick one, Connecticut, which everyone knows.
Womp womp. That's not, nobody copyrighted that. I can't do
Right.
womp,
You can
womp.
say that. Yeah. So we move on to...
Congratulations to Connecticut.
And me. So we move on.
But wait a minute. We have to say congratulations to the women's South Carolina team, the Gamecocks.
True.
Because that was a good game. Congratulations, ladies. This is what, their third national championship?
I think so,
Dawn
yes.
Staley.
Yes.
She did her thing.
And she's the only coach to get Coach of the Year and as a player, the Naismith Player Award twice, as well as Coach of the Year, I think 3 times.
Yeah, they had a perfect season.
I know, which is hard to do.
They completed a perfect season. So I wonder when was the last time that was done by anybody, men or women.
I cannot remember. I remember they had mentioned the stat on that, but I can't remember the team that did
it.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. That was really put women's college basketball on the map, I do believe. I don't think they'll have the issues of getting audience and filling the seats and things like that. It's a different day.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I was doing some reading, and more than likely, Caitlin is going to go to Indiana, and Indiana plays Las Vegas in Las Vegas, the Aces, and the Aces are moving the venue to a larger venue because they're expecting a large participation from the public because of Caitlin. So they're capitalizing on it.
Do we know when the women's draft is?
I'm not sure. I think it's this month, though.
For basketball?
Yeah, I think it's this month. I think
find out. Because it's going to be interesting to see where everybody goes, because they were talking about Cardosa from South Carolina she should be one of the top 5 picks.
Right, she will.
But she's also a champion.
Right.
And so my impression from listening to what they were saying was that in years past, the top picks had not been national champions.
That's what I was going to say. It doesn't always equate. It's a team's need, whatever a team needs at that point. And I think Cardosa and one other player from South Carolina are going to be in the top 10.
Right. So, but you would think that should play into it.
Yeah.
You would think.
But you got to look at the team's need. Also, on a sad note, O.J. Simpson has passed.
Yes.
Battle of cancer. He died on April the 10th.
Yes.
Of 2024.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So our prayers and thoughts go out to his family. And I know some folks are going to be careless because of his past aggressions. So, but it's
still a loss to the family.
Exactly.
Respectfully.
Yes. Now, on a good note, as I was looking at some things for our discussion with the Masters, I always got to check on my Cowboys and see what's going on with them. And I did not realize, but the Dallas Cowboys has the all-time winning percentage for the regular season of any NFL team at 57.6%.
Where'd you find that at?
I found it on the internet.
Okay, well.
And the internet
I was just asking. Oh, yeah, no, because the internet doesn't lie.
It was on sports news.
Oh, yeah, you can believe everything on the internet.
It was a reputable site.
Okay.
And
I was just curious.
The Green Bay Packers were at 57.2%.
I'm sure some of our listeners are looking that up right now as we speak.
Right. Okay.
Well, it's time for the Masters.
Yes.
This is an exciting time. This is the first major golf tournament of the season and scheduled to start, I believe, today. First round play is today and will last through the weekend, 4 days, 72 holes.
Right.
$18 million purse.
I know. Because I think they did the pre-tourney where they had little games. started on the 8th, which goes to the 10th, which was yesterday.
Yes.
And I was looking at the highlights this morning. The one little girl did the putt twice.
Right.
And one was from a
yes, it was. That was real cute. It was like family day for the first couple of days.
Right.
3.2 million goes to the winner.
Oh, okay.
And the rest is dispersed proportionately.
Oh, okay.
So it's very, I like the Masters. It's interesting. You learn something. We're expecting that maybe, possibly, Tiger will be playing in this Masters tournament.
Well, they say he's playing, but, I didn't realize, though, he's not even ranked in the top 300.
No, not anymore. But he's still Tiger Woods.
He is.
This will be his 5th time making a Masters appearance. No, his 26th time. I'm sorry. He's a 5-time Masters champion, making his 26th appearance.
Oh, that's pretty good.
He won his first Masters in 1997 at 21 years old.
Wow. Long time ago.
So here's the challenge. The first 2 days they start off with I think anywhere from 90 to 100 players. And the first 2 days is all about making the cut.
Right.
So they cut it off at 50.
Oh, okay. Did not know that.
Yeah.
Well,
so you got to get it. You got to score. You got to get a score that ranks in the top 50 to play on the next 2 days.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize that a lot of key players jumped to the LIV Golf League.
Now, when you say key players,
well, like
who are we talking about?
John Rahm, who's last year's champ, he's in the Saudi-backed league.
Okay.
So that's a key player. Sergio Garcia.
I don't know that I say he's a key player.
He's a reputable player.
He is reputable.
And he's a household name, so it's not like you don't know who he is.
But you know why you know Sergio?
Why?
Because he's crazy. And he always did crazy things on the golf course.
Like what?
I mean, just in his play, he was a very risky player. He was, he had a little bit of McEnroe in him on the golf course.
Okay.
He would challenge the judges when he was out of bounds. And so that's why people know Sergio and love to watch him play, because he's a very risky player and he's going to perform.
Well, that's what you want. You
It
want
keeps
something
it interesting.
Exactly.
That's true.
But I didn't realize this LIV. I was trying to figure out what is that, and come to find out it's a Roman numeral,
right?
Which means 54.
54.
Yeah,
right.
And it's only been around. I think they started their first season in 2022.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That was their first invitational series. And what is his name? Greg Norman is their CEO for them. And
for LIV?
Yes. And he's a well-known player as well back in the day.
Back in the day, Greg Norman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And it's just going to be interesting that I think they invited about 13 or 14 players from the LIV to participate. And I know LIV is trying to do some kind of merger or work out a deal with the PGA to be as one, I believe, or be partnership.
Right, yeah.
So and a lot of these guys leave because of the money, because the LIV
they got the money. Saudi backed, but yeah. We were talking about the fact that the Masters is by invite only as well.
Right.
You just can't. The U.S. Open and any tournament that is open to amateurs and professionals. But the Masters is by invite only. And then they just played one. I can't remember what the last tournament that they played, that one of the player that won, got the last invite into the Masters. So it was just played last week. I can't remember which one it was. But
the last player that won.
There was What?
You said the last player that won.
No, there was the last tournament that played.
Oh, okay.
That the player that won that tournament got the last invite to the Masters. And I can see his face. I just can't think of his name.
Well, it's funny because as I was reading, Wyndham Clark, who's the reigning U.S. Open champion, he's ranked, I think, 4th in the world golf rankings. And he's another one that left to go to LIV. And he basically said he has to do what's best for his family, which boils down, in my words, money. But, I don't put those guys at fault for doing that because
where the money is.
Yeah, that's what it is, because you just don't know. It might be a short-lived, your back can go, or you can have anything happen where you're just not performing the way you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or whatever.
So are you going to watch the Masters?
I am.
Because I've always watched it.
I have too with you. I have. Don't even
If y'all
try.
could see my face, y'all would see that my lips are turned up and I'm rolling my eyes because you haven't sat down and watched like the whole thing.
I know you're not talking about sitting down and watching anything. You do 8 million things.
I know.
And then it's like, what happened?
That's a woman's job. We can do 8 million things at one time.
And then ask what happened. Okay.
And then come back and say, okay, what did I miss? Yeah, well, everybody wants to eat and have clean clothes and all that stuff. So we have to. But anyway, it starts today.
And I still say Scheffler is
Scotty.
Yeah, he's the prime person that they're looking to win now.
I'm pulling for Tiger. I need Tiger to come on back and win one more. Just one more, Tiger.
Yeah.
Just one more. Last year he made the cut, but he had to withdraw because the weather was horrible. And it just rained and rained and rained. And with the rain delays and standing out there in the weather, he has plantar fasciitis.
Which I know what he means.
I know you can relate to that. And so because of, I guess, the pain that he was feeling, he ended up withdrawing. And so we didn't get to see him.
Well, it's a lot of walking.
A lot of walking. And then he made an appearance at the Genesis Invitational, but that's his tournament. So
now, did he play the whole tournament, or did he just
that one at Genesis? Yeah. I think he played.
Okay.
No, you know what? He did not play. He ended up withdrawing from that one because he had flu-like symptoms.
And when was that? Last year?
I think that was, it would have been last year.
Okay.
So he has said that we're not going to see a lot of him. He's going to be very particular in which tournaments and things that he plays in.
Right.
They weren't even sure really, and I think they still really aren't sure. A lot of the sportscasters and announcers and people like that have said, we won't believe that he's playing until we see him come down Magnolia Lane, which is the drive that leads up to the entrance, I believe, at Augusta at the golf course. So they're still really holding out. But I'd like to see him make that one comeback.
Well, hopefully he'll make the cut. He has a streak.
Hopefully he'll make the cut. So he's got plantar fasciitis in his ankles. He's got a bad back. He did something to his shoulder. And it's just like the odds are really against him.
Yeah, because he's made the cut 23 straight times.
Yeah.
And I think he's tied for the most cuts previously held by Gary Player and couples, I believe. But
interesting.
We will see. Now, is his daughter going to caddy this one?
I don't know. No.
I know.
No, his daughter's not going to caddy this one. He has a experienced caddy this time.
I would hope so.
One thing that I learned that I thought was interesting, Tiger is a 5-time, and not just Tiger, but I call that name because I'm familiar with it. But anyone who has won the Masters more than once, they just putting on the same jacket every time you see them. Like they don't have like 5 jackets. They get the green jacket when they win.
Right.
They don't give them another jacket.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Oh.
I read that. Little trivia for you guys out there. So I guess they say if you won a Masters and you're playing, bring your jacket with you just in case you win. Because if you win, we're going to put that same jacket on.
Well, you know what? I would think they have a rack of jackets with different sizes because they don't know who's going to win.
Maybe that's what it is.
They'll put it on for show, for pictures and all that.
Maybe that's what it is.
At the end, they actually have one made for
that person.
For that person.
But if you already won and you have a jacket, they just say, you already got the jacket. You don't get another one.
They have to get another jacket.
They do not get another jacket. They said the only time that they will give a new jacket is if it has to be, alterations have to be made.
Oh,
so you gain weight, lose weight, something like that.
Okay.
You know, but I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like you win 5 times or 4 times or, like however many times you got
5 or 4 jackets in the closet. 5 or 4 jackets
in the closet, yeah. But no, that's not the case. I was like, man, that's pretty interesting.
Wow. Well, John Rahm, he tees off in the first round at 1 p.m. So I'm definitely going to watch when he starts off. And I think Phil Mickelson tees off at 12:06 p.m.
Oh, yeah. Phil's interesting.
I like to watch him.
Yeah, I like to watch Phil.
He's been around for a while.
A long time.
Yeah.
A long time, yeah.
He's one of the old heads. And Wyndham Clark, who I think is going to do a pretty good showing as well, who I said was ranked 4th. He tees off at 1:24 p.m. So around between 1 and 2, or 12 and 2, there's going to be some good guys teeing off to watch. And Rory McIlroy.
The problem is you got to have ESPN Plus, I think. They don't have it on the major networks yet.
I think for Saturday and Sunday games,
yeah, those will
the
be
final rounds.
Yes.
They'll put it on there. So, and then there's all kinds of streaming platforms where you can
go out and grab it.
Yeah, like I think through CBS and some of the other ones.
Sergio tees off at 11:42 this morning,
and Tiger Woods tees off at 3:54.
So he'll be on TV because that's when it comes on. Is
right
at 3.
Right.
So we'll get to see him. And there is a pattern to how they group these guys. I can't remember what it is, but they group them together, and then as their scores change, then they group people with like scores together.
Because Tiger is teeing off with Jason Day and Max Homa, again, all at 3:54.
Right.
And Ludwig Aberg, who's ranked 9th in the world, he tees off at 4:18 with Jordan Spieth and Sahitha Theegala.
Ooh.
Theegala.
Go ahead and apologize now for butchering that name.
I do. The last name is, I can get the last name, Theegala. Theegala. Theegala.
I'm looking forward to it. I like the Masters. I like golf. I like watching golf. It's an interesting game. And as you watch it, you learn more about it and something to grab hold on to.
It is. They're trying to spice golf up a little bit
They
more.
are, yeah.
And I think with LIV coming in the picture, it's going to shake things up.
Because it's going to look a lot different.
Right.
And the demographics of it is going to change.
Exactly.
Because
And the PGA has to let those guys play in both. Otherwise, they're going to lose money. And if they lose money, they're going to have to look for new superstars. So, because a lot of these guys just going over to the LIV to get that money, and they need that exposure.
Right, yeah. And it's different. Like the LIV, the way they score, the way they rank.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the controversy.
Well, the purses in general, it's like night and day.
Yeah. Well, the money is definitely going to be different, but I think PGA, the hardcore PGA guys feel like it's easier to play in LIV because the standards are different.
Right.
So what they're saying is, we don't mind combining, but you guys got to play by our rules.
Right.
And LIV is saying, no, we don't want to play by your rules. We have our own rules. And so I think there's still a lot of talk going on about that, and we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Exactly. Well, you had mentioned festivities before the first round of the Masters, the pre-tourney type events. And I just want to say congratulations to Ricky Fowler for winning the par 3 contest.
Okay.
After a 3-year absence from the Masters.
That's a familiar name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. I found just some trivia about Tiger's records. He was the youngest player to win at 21 in 1997. He won by 12 strokes. He's one of 3 to win back-to-back Masters.
Oh, okay.
Only 3 people. Don't ask me what 3 it is. I don't know. But these are some of the things that he still holds.
Don't say that if you didn't know it.
I'll find out who the 3 are, and I'll let you guys know.
Still waiting for you to watch the Jordan.
Yeah, I'm not a big
special.
Jordan fan, but I'll watch it.
You said you was going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it.
Okay.
See, maybe, and then the other thing was Tiger has the most wins at 5. Then it's Nicholas Tiger is second. Nicholas has won 6.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, Nicholas has won 6. Tiger has won 5. And Arnold Palmer won 4. So he's still in the top 3 with those guys. And so these are records that Tiger holds that people are still chasing.
Right. Well, that's just like in any sport. You're going to have folks chasing records.
Right.
And some last longer than others.
And I think what's going to be Tiger's motivation and why we haven't seen the last of him is because he wants the most wins.
Yeah, he's very competitive.
He's very competitive.
Right.
And I think he's probably coaching his son, and he's probably a little bit more involved. All that is motivation.
Right.
So I don't think he's gone away yet. But I just hope that he has taken the time to heal his body so that when he does come back, he can be a true competitor, because the last couple of times we've seen him start, he doesn't finish. And that to me is worse.
Right.
I'd rather you just not play than to start and not finish.
Yeah. But again, that's that competitiveness in him.
Yeah.
He probably knew he was hurting, but wanted to push through it.
Or thought he could push through it. Yeah.
How far did he get before he had dropped out?
Last year,
Right.
He made the cut. So it might have been like the first day of the Saturday. No, not the first day. And once the first 2 days are making the cut.
Right.
And then the last 2 days are actually playing the game. And he had already made the cut. And so I think we were getting ready for him to play in the third round of 18 holes.
Okay. Well, other names you got to watch out for is Brooks Koepka. He's up there to possibly make a run for the Masters to win it.
This one?
Yes. And again, he's another LIV entry. Like I said, you have quite a few. And of course, like I said, John Rahm, who won it last year.
Is the current champion.
Right. He's a good run. But all bet makers are saying Scheffler is the one.
Is the name.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure, though.
And they probably just jinxed him.
Right. Well, but they say it about Connecticut too, in the NCAA tournament, and look where they ended.
Yeah, that's true.
So
everybody jumped on the bandwagon. It was a good tournament, but that was yesterday. It's all about today. Who said that?
I don't know.
Michael Jackson.
You did?
That was yesterday when he did that.
What?
Motown 25.
Oh.
Oh, took y'all back. Okay, I'm dating myself.
Yeah, you are. I don't even remember that because I was little then.
Yeah, right. Right.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well, what else is going on out there? That's the Masters, and we'll stay tuned and stay up on that. The NBA is getting ready for their playoffs.
Right.
And you got to love this new format, which I guess it really isn't new because they've been doing this play-in tournament since, I think, 2020 or 2021. It started during the COVID years.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. So
I wonder what
I
made
guess it's
them
new to
go.
me because I'm just paying attention to it.
I wonder what made them go to that. Because I know they had that, what was it, that preseason tournament or in-season tournament,
Yes.
which I
In-season tournament.
I just didn't understand that and didn't see the rhyme or reason. But hey, it's everything that the NBA, NFL, sports in general do has a money twist to it. So it's a business.
I read something that said they started it to speed up the playoff timeline.
Oh, okay.
But part of it too is because the NBA created this bubble in Disney World when they had during the COVID time and they had all the players secluded.
Mm-hmm.
And they spent $190 million to build that complex or that compound.
Right.
And I really think they got to use it now. You got to do something with it. And they said that it has recouped $1.5 billion. So, I mean, they made their money back and then some, but
What are they using it for now?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
It's probably just sitting there waiting for the play-in tournament. I don't know.
Is that where they were doing the play-ins? I thought they were doing those at the various locations.
Yeah, that's part of it because
Hopefully they're leasing it out to...
they got to be doing something with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just not sitting.
The teams ranked 7 to 10 have to play in the play-in. 7 host 8, 9 host 10. And then
Okay.
it's a process of elimination.
And who's the favorite to win?
So we have the Sun. Right now, the way it looks, it's
Right.
going to be the Suns and the Kings
Right.
versus the Lakers
Right.
and the Warriors out in the West.
Right.
And then
Right.
the 76ers
Right.
and the Heat versus the Bulls and the Hawks. So who is the favorite to win for the, oh man. So for the, who is my favorite to win? That's a different question than who is the favorite.
I'm saying to win the whole thing. Is it going to be Boston?
Oh, to win the whole
NBA championship.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know because I'm just now starting to get into the NBA and this is my pattern. So it's
Right.
football, then it's March Madness, then it's the Masters,
Right.
then it's NBA playoffs. And so that'll carry me through till tennis. Tennis will start up sometime there. But so I'm just now starting to look. But I think
Well, you have the drafts coming up as well for football as well as basketball.
And those will be great. But are the Celtics ranked number one? Is it Boston?
Yeah, Boston has the best record.
They have the best record, like 62 wins.
And I think 16,
I think it's more than that now.
16 losses, something like that. But, it's funny you bring up the NBA. And I've been looking at the Wizards, Washington Wizards, since we're in this area. And I think one of the most underrated guards is Tyus Jones. I think he's an excellent point guard. So
again, I'm just starting to get into it. I'm going to watch a little bit more basketball so that I can be a little bit more educated on when I speak to it. But I'm looking forward to this play-in. The only problem that I kind of have with this setup is it feels like they're mimicking the NCAA process.
They might be.
And so why you would want to do that to your professional players, I'm not sure.
Again, about the
all
money.
About the dollar. The mighty, 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 mighty dollar. I'm sure that's what it is. But
also, too, because I know we're sort of winding down, I want to mention the baseball player Ohtani.
Oh, yeah.
They came back and said that he's cleared of all accusations of possibly gambling on.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. His interpreter basically ciphered almost $4 million, and they think it might have been even more from Ohtani to cover.
So the player they're saying is not involved.
Is not involved.
Okay.
And I think his name was Mizuhara, who was the interpreter, and he was basically paying off gambling debts.
Yes. Yeah.
So he had changed the parameters on Otani's account.
Wow.
So Otani wasn't getting any alerts from withdrawals from his account and so forth. So,
That's
but it's
crazy.
good that he was cleared. And again, we're talking about $4.5 million. And there's federal charges against this Mitsuhara. So,
Wow.
more to come on that.
Yep. Interesting.
All right. Well, that sort of comes to an end for this episode, and more to follow with the Masters. And with that said, I want to make sure everybody listens to our podcast on whatever platform that you utilize. And if you have questions or comments, send it to memywifeandsports at yahoo.com. Darcy, any parting words?
I wanted to share this with everybody. Heroes are easier to admire than to define, the term heroes.
Mm-hmm.
They are seldom conscious of their moments of heroism, and others may not recognize their acts as heroic. Heroes simply do the right thing at the right time, whether or not they realize the impact their actions will have. One quality heroes share is the tendency to think of others before they think of themselves. By this definition, think about who your heroes are and have that discussion with your kids. Let's get our kids engaged again in looking up to role models and heroes and making sure that they're focusing on the right ones.
Very well said, and good points. All right. Also, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Check out our Facebook page, and remember, your mate is a reflection of you.